What's up, beautiful souls? OCL, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short. This is a karmic collective reading. So fair warning, you're going to want to make sure that you're centered and that you only really hear what it is that you need to hear for your situation. It's a lot of mess going on right now. These karmics done lost their damn mind. For those of you that are used to my karmic readings, you already know how this is going to go. You know I'm not going to pull any punches. You know I'm not going to go soft on them or none of that. I don't do soft karmic readings. I don't even think something like that exists. So be prepared to not only hear everything, but to hear the harsh truths, the solutions, and etc. There are no problems without solutions. There are no questions without answers. Now, some answers you may have to go through a couple of things to get to, but whatever the divine allows me to give you to help you have some guidance and some clarity, so be it. However, collective or personal, you're responsible for your actions and reactions. It's up to you to use your discernment to tap into your intuition to make sure that you're getting what you're supposed to. Don't just take something and just run with it. If you need a personal reading, you can book, but even with personal readings, always use your discernment. I recommend also meditating and getting yourself realigned in case you get like a little emotional or moody with this, to get yourself realigned after the reading is done. So with all of that and the disclaimer and all that jazz out of the way, let's hop into the channel messages before we get into this card. I have my soul sister Tina from My Lady Oracle's chain breaking wand sitting here because I want to make sure that these chains and these ties are cut. This is ridiculous. This is just a hot mess of ridiculousness. Some of you you've just started talking to someone. You're probably only a couple of months in. There's already red flags and you're ignoring them. This is someone who might have put on a lot of charm when you first met them, but if you really pay attention to how they went about it, for some of you it's a little creepy how they went about it. For others, if you just step outside your body for a second and replay the event, they clearly have asshole written all over them. The way that they're talking, the way that it's not confidence, it's just egotistical narcissist cockiness. That's what it is. And mind you, ego is not always a bad thing. But in this case, a bad thing. They're very egotistical. They're very narcissistic. But they try to add this like flair of charm to make it appear like it was just confidence. And for whatever reason, you might have fell for it, right? Okay, well now as you're going about it, and it's like you blink and all of a sudden there's these little, they're not little, but they're done kind of sporadically. There's these things that they do or say that are a complete turn off, doesn't make any sense, and it makes you feel like ish. And the reason it makes you feel like ish is because they're starting the traits of gaslighting. They're starting the traits of getting you used to them talking down to you or putting you down and then blaming you for what that is. Sometimes they make it sound like it's a joke, but there's clearly no joking tone. Pay attention to more than just the word. Pay attention to the body language, like everything. Read the person, read the room. Because sometimes when they probably say some things to you, it makes your friends or other people uncomfortable as well. So if you're new to get out before this gets any crazier. Get out before you end up moving in with this person and dealing with a whole bunch of ish with them. It's too much already. Somebody was messing up with there was like a speech impairment, maybe not an impairment, but like you messed up on a simple word. English may not be your first language, and or you just messed up on a word. It happens, right? People get tired, speech gets weird. And the person mocked you for it. They tried to make it sound like a joke, but it was done in such a sophisticated way. So it was like you mess up on the word and they go, oh, wow, that was a really simple word. You messed up on that. I thought you were smarter than that. And they say little things like that a lot, and it gets a little harsher each time. And you're already starting to have mentally a reaction to it. Like mentally, it already makes you feel off, and you start questioning yourself. You weren't doing any of this before this person came around. That's the first signs of a person that's about to be a karmic. So if you were looking for that warning, if you were looking for, because I hear some of y'all making excuses like, oh, well, you got to give people a chance. Listen, there's your warning. You won't be able to say that nobody didn't give you, what you do with it is what you do with it. But you won't be able to say nobody didn't give you the heads up, okay? For the other set, for some of you, it's going to be your person, but you or your person are dealing with someone who enables you or them by putting the things you used to be addicted to. You've dealt with addiction issues before. Your person dealt with addiction issues before, and they put it in front of you. I'm seeing someone's person, counterpart, trying not to take a drink, and the person keeps trying to make them drink. It's one thing to go to a party. Obviously, there's alcohol, people are drinking. If you're sober and you really, grounded yourself, that doesn't bother you. You don't, as long as the drink ain't in your hand, you're fine. But this person is like, well, with just one sip, how would this hurt you? What's this gonna do? It's just one drink. How do you know you're sober if you can't even handle just one drink? And they might still be getting used to just being around alcohol, least of all taking it, and this person's egging it on. For someone else, it's pills. It's some type of pills, because I heard someone say, you're being sporadic right now. They're really not, but they're just like, oh, you're like too hype. You need to take something to calm down, or oh, you're seeming like a Debbie Downer, or like you're just being ridiculous. You need to take something to get yourself to level up, and it's like it's a pill. And you might have been someone, or your person was someone that used to be addicted to pills, possibly painkillers or uppers and downers, and so they're trying a more holistic way of life right now. If it's not something they have to take, they don't want to take it, and this person's egging them on to take it. So you might have noticed that this individual seems off lately, out of it, can't seem to articulate themselves very well, moody, because whatever this person has them taking, or might be slipping them, don't put it past it, they might have slipped them something. Whatever it is, it's got them acting weird, it's got them acting funny. Some of you, and this is not going to be for everyone, so again, use your discernment. For some of you, you know who your divine counterpart is. You guys have had feelings. You have not necessarily, you might have confessed some things to each other, or you both feel an intense connection, but something keeps you both from acting on it, from actually talking and getting together. So you date other people in the meantime and in between time. You might be friends, you keep in touch with this person, but whenever you both are single, it's like you might talk about taking things further, and then you just don't, right? This individual might be not necessarily ghosting you, but it's like they're in and out. It's like one minute they're talking to you all the time, and then it starts to kind of wean off. Conversations never really get completed. The next day they start from a whole different topic. It's just very out of character for them. And if you ask them what's wrong, they might just say, oh, things are complicated. They might be with someone or talking to someone, and you're suspicious of that. Like, why is it that when you got with this, and you've seen them date other people before, but there's something about this that's different. This person that they're dealing with is toxic, very karmatic, very negative, just influential in all the bad ways, and they're going through a hell of a lot more than they're telling you that they are. And for the last group, the channel didn't hear, and again, that this next group is also not going to resonate with everyone. There's karmic, not only a karmic, person, but there's children involved. Some of them have had babies with these karmics. Now, this could be from years ago, so the children might be a little older, or this could have been within the last, say, 2, 3, 4 years. They might have had a kid with somebody, either when they were separate from you or before y'all started talking. They might be on and off with this person. You might be wondering, how come they're not making moves yet? Because something involving the child, or something involving like information on them, is being held over their head. So some of you are dealing with partners. If it's not a kid, then it's like something's being held over their head to keep them having to either help or please the karmic in some way, do something for them to keep them from acting out, or whatever the case may be. We'll get into the cards to figure out what that is. I'm going to hop into actually a deck that I have off to the side first. That's the Karmic 411 by Fire Witch Tarot. I'm going to hop into that one first. We're going to get these messages, and then I'm going to get into Trapped in Toxicity, Karmic Tale from Rachel. I'll also, yeah, we have a lot of decks to get into, so I'm going to see if we can keep them to like 3 messages or something per deck, because there's a lot of cards here. Oh, we already got flippers. Look at that. We have turn off. My karmic isn't really ambitious like you. And that's a major turn off. Somebody's karmic is kind of lazy. I'm seeing someone roll their eyes really intensely, like this chick don't want to do nothing for herself. That's what I'm hearing somebody say, like, you don't want to do nothing for yourself. We have, I was just about to say this earlier, and look, it's come out. We have, she knows about us. I don't know when I'll be able to see you again. It might be a while. Remember what I said about you could be friends with a person and it's like 1 minute they're there, then they kind of disappear for a time. Well, for some of you, there's also this energy of the karmic being aware that either you're a friend and or you could be someone that your partner's trying to get back with, like they're trying to get back with you. They're trying to leave the karmic, get with you, and the karmic is becoming aware of it. I don't put it past, because I see eyes watching and lurking. This person might know where you work. It might sometimes, and you might recognize them. You might know who they are, and you've seen them kind of like in the area of where you work. Or let's say you work at a store. Somebody owns a store or works at a store. I'm hearing store, owner, and Atlanta. So either they own a store or you own a store. Bottom line is they're like hovering around. They're observing. And I'm seeing someone asking your person, why are you so close to that friend? Or why are you so all up on that? Like, who is that to you? Right? And even if you're not sexually doing anything, they can tell that there's some type of intense bond or attraction between the two of you. And they're not only watching them, but they're watching you. So it's like they've figured it out. Some of them deal in the dark side of energy work. So it didn't take much to recognize that there's something there. They might even just know that you're the divine counterpart. A lot of times karmics don't just have it out for the person they're dealing with. They also have it out for the person that individual's meant to be with. Some karmics are just beyond being toxic. They're actually fucking evil. They're literally just out to, especially when you're talking about divine unions where you can really help level up the consciousness of the planet, or where something that you do together can be really successful and help elevate you and other people. Those are the situations where you end up a lot of times getting the kind of karmics that are completely deranged, just out of it. Let's get some more. We have, okay, we actually got a few more cards here. Hold up. I kiss her ass. I heard her and I heard him. So some of you are dealing with a masculine karmic, a man karmic, a woman karmic. I kiss him or her ass whenever I need something just to get what I want. But that's not what I'm hearing. I heard an edit of this. What I heard was I kiss their ass and give them what they want to keep them from doing something crazy. Again, somebody's karmic has something on them, or they're using children. So it's like, let's say, for example, your person had a temper in the past, may have been in trouble before, or just they had a rep. Maybe they weren't like a bad boy or bad girl, but they kind of had a rep for maybe being quick to react a certain way. This person could be willing to lie on them, could be willing to say, oh, they're doing this or they're doing wrong. And if they got them addicted to some type of narcotic again, they might go to their job and snitch and say, oh, so-and-so is getting high or getting drunk all the time. And if they don't pass a drinking or getting high test, they may have to get laid off work. Or they might accuse them of something where I'm feeling like somebody's job makes them responsible for a lot of people, or make them responsible for family members or something. So it's like if they get laid off of work, they're not the only one that suffers. They have relatives that suffer. And if they have a child, the child also suffers to an extent. The karmic doesn't care. So it's like, if you do something I don't like, I'm going to go to work, to your job, and I'm going to tell them that you're doing this and you're doing that, and or I'm going to make a mess, some type of mess that will disrupt your life for at least a period of time. Even if they try to lie, I don't feel like they have any evidence, unless it's, of course, the drug thing, and they do have them getting high. But they don't have evidence if they try to like accuse them of being violent or something. However, because that person may have had a rep, or maybe that person works at a job that can't afford that type of image at the moment, they might lay them off while it's being investigated. And in that amount of time, they got people to take care of. So it's like, how do I do this? How do I get out of this? How do I please this person for right now, him or her? But at the same time, I'm like working on getting out of this. I'm working on leaving. Okay. We have, I found out the karmic created multiple fake accounts on social media. Didn't I say like y'all being watched? Being watched. They're not just watching the masculine or divine feminine here. They're watching whoever the divine counterpart is. So whether it's you watching or your counterpart, they're watching both of you. They're observing energetically. If they don't know who you are, they're either snooping to figure it out. Some of you, and it's a small group. I get these groups every now and then. They come in, especially for karmic and love readings. There's groups of people who can feel their counterpart even if they haven't met them yet. They're in their vicinity. You might have an idea of who they are. And what happens is that person, especially when they're toxic like this, they pick up on that. They pick up on it. And so they start trying to do things to make sure that you and that other person don't come across each other, whatever it can be. So they'll watch them from every angle. So if you ever get that feeling of like eyes on you, or you're on social media and it looks like all these weird accounts out of nowhere are just randomly following you or observing you, that could very well be the karmic watching to see if there's any in exchange, like, oh, what is he or she gonna like something of theirs, or they're gonna comment. So that could also be, if you've been wondering, how come my person doesn't congratulate me, especially if you're friends, how come they don't sometimes just like a picture or say, hey, what's up, publicly? Why is everything via text? Why is everything so secretive? I'm not having an affair with them, so why are they doing it that way? Because they know that they're being watched and that you're being watched, and they actually fear safety here. They don't know what this person's fully capable of. So for some of y'all, this is someone they might have been on and off with, or they've been deep in the trenches with this person for a minute. If it's a mother of a child, they're worried about the child. It's like, how do I know what you're doing in regards to my kid when I'm not around, or what you're telling them when I'm not around? When you're mad at me and etc. That's the energy here. This could be someone you're dealing with. And the parent that's doing the dirt could be masculine or feminine. I'm picking up on both energies here. We have divine feminine. I know it may not seem like I need you, but please pray for me. Pray I rise above these karmic ties. I've been picking up on this energy for weeks. I've been giving you, if you follow me on Instagram, I've been telling y'all for the longest time, especially when it comes to these masculines, there's a lot going on with them. It's not simple wham bam thank you ma'ams. It's not simple. Some of them aren't even sleeping with these karmics, but if they have kids with them, if the karmic got something they can hold over their head, whatever that may be, they feel trapped, they feel stuck. And some of them, it's more of a mental thing, especially if they got them drugged up or they're enabling them somehow. It's a mental thing. They feel, if you feel mentally trapped, then it's hard to physically leave, because it's hard to get out of your own head, i.e. get out of your own way. So you might be thinking, oh, they're just being, and again, we're not talking about so-called masculines that are acting like they're fine, but they're really not, or we're not talking about that. We're talking about people that are really in toxic connections where they really feel trapped. And we're going to get into Trapped in Toxicity. By Rachel. We're going to hop into this deck here. There's a lot of manipulation. A lot of the person there, some of them are dealing with people that, like I said, they work on the negative, the darker sides of energy, the sides that everybody like to act like don't exist, but they do. They dabble in things. They're like little vampires. They're like leeches. They're like succubus and incubus. They're draining them. When they have sex with them, they drain them. Which is why some of them try to avoid that at all costs. Some of them don't even understand how it happened. They're just it's like they wake up, boom, activity taking place. Like, what the hell? And they really can't. I've picked this up before with a masculine before. It was a masculine that used to end up in front of the karmic's house, and he didn't even know how he got there. Just either sitting in his car, or he would blink and he's like at the front door questioning in his own head, why did I come here? I don't recall driving here. There's a lot, like I said, the karmics have lost their damn mind. A lot of karmic ties have been breaking over the year, really over a year and a half. And so you could kind of see it as these are the ones that are really struggling to hold on because they know that their time is coming up. And the only thing that can keep it from happening is if they can break the willpower or the mental and spiritual willpower of your person or of you. If they can keep you thinking you need them or keep you thinking that they have something over you, then that's enough to keep you just enough in a low vibration that you linger around a little longer. But most of these ties are being divinely broken. The only thing prolonging that, like I said, is the person's will. The only thing. Oh, got a few again. We have you. It's always been you. I can't imagine you not being in my life. You are all I ever wanted. That really scares me. I never wanted or asked for anything before you. The whole divine feminine pray for me thing. Pray for me, help me get rid of this tie, because really I want you and it's always been you. I feel you, not them. I want you, not them. How do I get out of this? I'm hearing I know I might have made this mess, but I'm having a hard time cleaning it up or getting out of it. You might have warned them about this person, or somebody has a relative that was warning them about whoever this is. They have an intuitive relative or a person who, even if they don't know how to put a name to what they do, they were like, something's wrong with that person. Hearing that voice clear. Something's wrong with that person. They're entertained. There's something going on. Their energy's not right. They can see that this person shifts depending on situations. They can see that this person tries to change their energy to fit where they are. So for example, if they want to act like they're the victim of something, or if they want to act like they're the good girl, they not only put it on with an act, they go through a whole ritual practice to cover their energy, to try to hide the wickedness as much as possible, so that hopefully other energetic people don't pick up on it. They ain't really fooling nobody, but they think they are, especially if you have relatives that seem to like them. It's sad to say, but sometimes when you've had people that were in relationships with someone for a long time, the family gains a certain affection. And they're oblivious, especially if you don't tell them, they're oblivious sometimes to just how twisted the person is, or how snotty or stuck up the person is. And they entertain it and think, oh, you should stay with them because of a kid, or everything becomes, your person or your issue. Like, you're the one that should try to compromise, and you're the one that should go the extra mile. And you're looking at them like, y'all don't even know what this person has done. And then some families just don't care. That's just the reality too, is some families don't care if that person was abusive. They'll blame it on them being young. They'll blame it on anything they can think of, either because they've gained something from that person before, or let's be clear, sometimes people are dealing with a whole karmatic family, just a whole entire karmatic family. So obviously they support karmic situations. And that's another reason your person could feel so trapped right now. Like, where the fuck do I go? Who do I go to? Can't go here because this person likes them, and etc. But there's that one relative, could be a mother, could be a cousin, that it's a blood relative. It's one relative that's like, it's something, and they've been saying this since day one. You can hear me, like I was saying this since day one. Since day one, they did not like this person. And now that all this issue is going on, they can feel it. So it doesn't matter if you or your person says anything. This person could also, again, you're watching or cross-watching, however it is, you might also have a family member that has heard about this person and been like, is something wrong with them? The other card that came out was wait. Would you wait to be with me? I feel I have no right to ask you, but the thought of you with another is soul destroying. I heard someone say soul shattering. That's a masculine energy. Again, though, there is a feminine that's also coming through for that. Masculine energy, when they're hurt or they feel abandoned, or even the smallest hurt, it's not a bend, it's a shatter. Feminine energy kind of bounces back, bends back. It's like the dial that you keep hitting and it comes back up. But masculine energy, for all for being told all the time to be strong and don't have a weakness and don't cry and don't do this, it creates a more frail state. So that means when they go through something, they're not prepared to handle what they go through. Look at this. We have, I die every day inside. I feel like I am slowly dying here, trapped in hell, and sometimes I don't eat because I just want to waste away to nothing. I feel empty. Remember I said your person may not be looking well. They might be looking out of it or drowsy. Whenever I'm going to tell you how you peep this real quick. If you have a person that normally is really active, really healthy, Then all of a sudden they get with this person, especially if it's an on and off situation. Think back. Every time they're on with that person, they get really thin. They might not keep themselves up. So like, let's say they normally keep like a clean shave. They're never shaved when they're with that person. Let's say they keep their hair or their clothes, neat. They look, they're a good looking person. They get around this person, they look like a bum. That's a clear sign. It doesn't have to be that that's the individual that's, someone's trying to get drunk or whatever. It can, especially if it's not, that's even worse. Because then you can't create any other excuse other than it's that individual. You can't say, oh, it's because they're getting high. Oh, it's because they're drunk. If you know that your person has no addictions and they've never had an addiction issue, but they're coming around looking like that, that's the tall tale sign right then and there. I'm feeling the need to go back to the 411 real quick, and then we're going to move into the actual karmic deck. I'm trying to escape this karmic and come see you again. But I heard someone say really loud, like they're screaming, I'm trying to escape the karmic. I'm trying to escape the karmic. Sound like a feminine voice. So divine feminine is dealing with a karmic that might be either verbally abusive or physically abusive. So there's a genuine fear with this. There's a genuine fear here. And they're really trying to leave. But I feel like that feminine may have family that doesn't think that the person's that bad. Maybe the person they're with has some type of financial, they might be more financially stable. They don't have to be Rockefeller, but they have money. And she might come from a family that they don't have a lot of money like that. So the way they see it is tolerate it or put up with it because look at your life. You're not back in the hood, or you're not back in, you know what I'm saying? It's a fucked up situation. I'm gonna put it that way. And you might have noticed some things or noticed them being kind of like jumpy. So whether because there's some same-sex couples here. So whether you're in a same-sex relationship or you're an actual, the embodiment of a man, and you've been wondering how come she's looking like that, why she look, you're gonna have to watch your anger, because somebody got real hot the moment they heard that because they already was thinking it. You might have noticed bruises, or you might have noticed them being jumpy. If it could be a person that's verbally abusive, and that's enough to make someone jumpy because you're getting yelled at all the time. It puts your nerves on edge. We got 2 cards. Look at that. Manipulator. He or she uses mental health to manipulate and control me. This is a person that does the whole, I need you. For many of you, it's in the reverse. You need me. You need me because you're not stable. Remember what I said about them possibly having something over their head that they could go to work? Let's say your person had a mental breakdown in the past. Oh, I'm going to go to your job and tell your job that you're on the verge of a mental breakdown again. And if it was severe enough, and if it maybe happened in a public place enough, that state of that place, if it's a business where they got to interact with people, they might say to them, hey, until an investigation or something is done and we find out what's really going on here, we might have to lay you off. Or someone's really afraid of being laid off of work, or somebody messing up their reputation. Even if they don't get laid off, it's like if they have a business of their own, ruining a rep. If you own a store, or you're from the Atlanta region, and you've been, kind of hearing rumors and stuff about your business, that could also be that person creating lies about you too, trying to make it where y'all life ain't gonna be smooth if you try to get together. We have intuition. She or he told me they had a feeling I was up to no good. They're suspicious. The reason I'm saying she and he is because this deck was made more so for more of a karmic that's a feminine energy. However, I'm picking up feminine and masculine here. I'm picking up really manipulative masculine. For some of you, that manipulator, the person you've been dating for a few months, they just haven't gotten as bad as it is for some of these other ones, but that's who they are. All right, let's get into the actual. We have 2 decks here that are karmic messages. We're going to get into that now. Ooh, try to keep these cards short. see what the divine reveals about the karmic from the karmic. Getting under your skin. Some of you know who this karmic is, or you have a really good idea of who they are. And they probably like posting things or saying things. They might have been real quiet, and then all of a sudden they just started getting really active to try to get under your skin, but also to try to get under your person's skin. Again, they're trying to make your person feel like they need them, and or they're trying to make your person think, but I'm not stable. So you got to know, it's a lot of energies channeling in here. You got to know which one is for you. But they could be like, I'll go. What if I hurt the baby because you're not around because I'm not stable? Someone's using kids, mental health, all at the same time against. I'm seeing a father figure, but also for a mother figure. There could be a mom that has like a joint custody with a father figure, and it's court ordered, so you have to kind of send the kid over there. And this person, sometimes people may not believe you when you tell them that the person's that throwed off, because when they're in public, they're wearing a different skin, they're wearing a different energy. They can't fool, they can't fool a real intuitive. They can't fool somebody that can really pick up on energy. But to the average person, or to the person that just doesn't seem to care, they get away with it. So they don't. It's like, that's why I'm telling you, for those of you who've been ignoring the red flags, that are dealing with somebody that's already starting the little, like, making you feel insecure, gaslighting you, trauma bonding with you. Oh, I've been through this, that, and the third, and so this is why I act the way I do, blah, blah, blah. Get out now before it turns into the deeper layers of this mess. We have, look at that. I'm fooling everyone. I'm fooling everyone. I know exactly what this karmic is trying to do. I'm starting to notice it all. So someone's masculine that was, I'm going to do a video at some point for you guys when I have more time, where I break down some of these categories of karmics, because you watch karmic readings and you hear these different types. Y'all don't know what the mimics are. You really don't know what some of the energies y'all playing with out here is. Some people aren't what, it's more than just, oh, I'm a bad person. Oh, I'm just a soul contract that this person needs to figure out. It's a lot of other manipulation and things that go on with these energies that you need to be more prepared for when you're dealing with it. And sometimes these masculines, when they seem like they're not themselves, they really aren't. They're really being manipulated energetically. Manipulating energy, manipulating mental state can have a person completely out of their mind, completely out of the essence of who they are. It happens every day. And to people who think that that's a joke, I want you to look around your surroundings right now and pay attention. If you can watch a film and have an emotional reaction to a bunch of characters you don't know, then you go and you hear a story on social media of something that happened to a person that you don't know, but you resonate with it because long ago in your life you went through it. Guess what? Your energy and your emotional state, because your energy and your emotions are linked all together, you're having a reacting, your energy is being manipulated at that time. Because you're reacting to something and it seems like you don't have control. You can't seem to control getting mad. You can't seem to control not being as upset. Even if it's something to justifiably be mad at, it's like it nags with you for days. That is how easy it can be. So imagine what it's like when a person has the intent. The intent. And mainly this is plausible when people are operating in the lower realms of their vibration, ruled by anger, ruled by the ego, ruled by narcissism, and or feeling depressed, feeling sad all the time, doomsday, woe is me mentalities. Those are the mentalities that people like this search for. Those are the victims they look for, because those are the ones they can trauma bond with. Trauma bonding isn't just, oh, I make you feel sorry for me. Trauma bond is, look how you went through the same thing. You had an abusive parent. I had an abusive parent. You know what it's like to go through this or go through that. I went through that too. And it may very well be that they did, but the difference is you didn't come out like that. You didn't come out wanting to go around and hurt people and manipulate people and all this other stuff. You didn't start getting into darker versions of energies. You didn't do that. They did. And now they want you to think that you somehow have the cure to their mental state, but at the same time, it means debilitating yours. Get out of certain situations before they go too far. You might look back a long time from now and say, dang, I should have. And most importantly, observe. If there's something that you're like, I don't know, you observe. And when you get your confirmation, stop. This is not a game here, people. I'm not picking up on people who play. I'm picking up on people who can do really crazy shit. Really crazy shit. My regulars know how I get about those type of energies. I don't have time to bullshit you. These are the people who will do really messed up things. If you're willing to ruin the mother or father of your child's career or job because you're not getting your way, you're willing to stalk somebody's friend, whether you think they have a thing going on or not, you're willing to stalk them to figure it out instead of it just being, hey, if they don't want to be with you, let them go. You're willing to do all this other crazy stuff. What are you not willing to do? That should be the question you ask when you're thinking of these energies. You got you showing up at somebody's work. Again, somebody's karmic shows up at the store or job of the divine feminine or masculine. And if you know who they are, you see them. They might come in your store and never buy nothing. Just walking in, just going in, scoping out the place. That's a setup. That's what that is. That's a clear setup. So observe when you're getting the red flags, when you're getting the warnings, you're getting them for a reason. You don't need to stress in the concept of, oh, I'm going crazy. You don't need to do that. You observe. Naturally observe. Get rid of bias, get rid of opinion, and just watch. If you were outside of your body and you saw that same activity taking place, would you think it was normal? That's the question. If a friend came to you and said that was happening to them, would you think it was normal? Sometimes common sense got to kick in. You know what I mean? Like it's too these karmics really, and again, someone's dealing with a person that's just starting with them. They're just starting to gaslight or trauma bond or whatever it is, and someone's dealing with a person that's really cocky. It's not confidence, it's egotistical cockiness, and they try to make you seem like you're below them, like they're better than you, like they come from more than you. You might come from the same damn place, but they act like they come from something better than you. That's to get you used to feeling below them. So now when they tell you what to do, you'll do it because you feel below them. When they want to make you feel insecure, it's easy because you've already been programmed. It starts with little simple words. It starts with little simple actions. They're not really little in if you just look at it, but when you're attracted to a person, or when you think, oh, I don't want to judge people, blah, 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 you let things slip through the crack. If anything else, pay attention to what you energetically feel, because energy can be manipulated if you're in a low vibration. But the person doing the manipulation always reveals themselves. Always. In the words, in their body language, in their actions, in how they handle situations. They always reveal themselves. The question is, are you paying attention? Your person may have not paid attention. Your person have family member, whatever, saying, yo, no, bro, what you doing? Girl, what you doing? They did it anyway. Now here they are. That's why earlier they said, I know I got myself in this mess, but I'm having a hard time cleaning it up. Can you help me? Can you pray for me? Can you do something? But they don't want to ask you from out of their mouth, because what right do they have? That's where their energy is. I'm done. I'm ready to leave these karmic cycles. That's why they're asking for prayer. That's why they're asking for encouragement. That's why they're asking to have the strength to do this. Because they're realizing a lot of what I'm worried about is in my head. But it's in my head because this person is putting it in my head, or drugging me up, or whatever it is they got to do to try to keep me in a tie, in a lock. I make him ghost you. I make him block you. I feel like this block means energetically this person is doing some type of, I'm seeing a snake ritual, and not all, what I don't want y'all to do is be disrespectful and think that when people are doing rituals with snake skins and all this other stuff, that it's the same amongst everybody. There are certain sacred protection spells that are done with snake skin, but this person's not doing that. This person is doing some shady thing. It's like, again, it's like a mix between a mimic and a shifter. They like to make their energy seem like it's something else. But as they do that, they drain from different people, from different life sources, and they're draining from your person, and it shows. Especially if you know that your person isn't one that takes narcotics or does any of that, and yet they're walking around here looking like a zombie. So for some of them, that ghost, I make him ghost. It's not ghost you, it's I make him look like a ghost. I make him energetically block you, because if he knows he's dealing with this craziness, that's that person who pulls away sometimes, kind of like in and out. When things get crazy, complicated, they pull away because they don't want the energy to affect you. Bottom of the deck. Look at that. Didn't I tell you they're crazy? Come for me. You know, and some of them are, now see, you want to know why I find this hilarious? Because see, I call karmics out. I don't have an issue. I find this to be hilarious, not because they're not actually crazy, but because a lot of times these karmics are the types to be the bullies who need a crew. You know what I mean? Like in high school, they're the person that talk all that smack when they got a bunch of people around. They think that you can't fight, but then the moment they realize you can fight, or that you got a bigger crew, all of a sudden they little bitches in the corner, they scared. That's the kind of karmics they are. They say come for me until you do. Right? It's not encouraging you to, because that could be a setup in of itself. That's why they could be doing things to try to get under your skin and get under your karmic skin, make y'all act up, call the police, who going on to jail. See what I'm saying? But this is the energy of, you got to like watch your back. I burn with anger and hate when you both communicate. I'm going to switch now. We're going to get to Confessions of the Puppet Master. Convenient name considering how these karmics are acting. Let's dive deeper into this. Let the divine continue to review what these karmics are doing. I know that he/she is still in love with you. So some of these karmics have been trying really hard to get the masculine or feminine to love them. Need me, love me. They don't love them. The karmics, these type of karmics, really honestly, toxic karmics don't love nobody. It's all for self-validation. It's all to keep certain sacred bonds from coming along. It's for a whole bunch of other evil, toxic shit, but it has nothing to do with love. But they want the person to love and be obsessed with them, because then you won't leave. You'll stay. That's why sometimes they'll use kids. They'll get pregnant, or they'll get you pregnant. Something to keep you around. If it's a same-sex couple, when you first started, when you were first getting along, maybe they wanted to adopt kids and anything to keep a tie to you, to make you have to interact with them. And the hope is that in the amount of time, you'll slip up and actually commit. There are some people who went as far as marrying their karmics and had to go through the whole chaotic divorcing period, because the karmics don't care about the kids and they don't care to use the kids. Look at that. What was I saying earlier? I verbally abuse him or her. We have a card in reverse. Look at this lying. Look at that. I do love him or her. Honest. I'm not lying. I do. That's what they go around telling family and friends that they're trying to manipulate. Especially if they're not with the person, like they're not together and they want the family to support them. But I still love them. I do. I don't know why they're treating me the way they treat me. I'm just being a supportive mom. I'm just trying to be, like the father I didn't have. I'm just trying to be all these things. I love them. It's true. It's honest. If you gotta say honest at the end of your like they really said that to somebody, honest, like really? Honestly? Because I should have room to think that you were lying the first time? Interesting choice of words to put honest at the end of something that you're trying to already imply is true, thus implying that it's probably bullshit, right? But there's a few relatives that's falling for it. I am codependent on them because they're energy vultures and they need to suck as much energy as they need to, or it's money. What did I say? I love them, honest, but I don't fancy him or her anymore. But I love them, but I don't fancy them, but I love them. This is the moment where if I was using the tarot, the Queen of Swords would come out and be like, cut the shit, please. Your acting is horrible. The acting is so bad. They talk about you in their sleep. Those of you who might dream of your counterpart, you dream of being with them. They might call your name. I've created my own deck, and one of the cards from the messages that channeled in was that I call out your name. So they could be, you know, calling out your name in their sleep. Not just in a sexual sense, not just like in the peak of pleasure, but more like, I'm fucking scared right now. I think I might lose you. I feel like I'm dying inside, and my only salvation is you. So therefore I dream of you and I call your name like it's a prayer. So can you pray for me, because I'm calling on you like you're a prayer. I need help out of this. I need something. Like this is too much for me. And they wake up probably like that, and the person's pissed about it. Like, why you got that motherfucker, that bitch's name on your mouth? That's how they talk, some of these karmics. Remember, they're verbally abusive. Look at that. Why are they verbally abusive? Because they're so insecure. Most narcissistic people are they're honestly almost always insecure. That's why they act that way. It's not, most people think, well, it's because they're in the ego and they feel so good about themselves. No, they don't. That's a lie. They feel horrible about themselves. They need to make other people think that they're the problem so that they can feel good about themselves. That's why they put so much work and effort into it. There's different levels to narcissism here. There's different degrees of it. But when you get into them intense, almost if not possessed levels of narcissism, you're tapping into people who have had and probably been through the weirdest of situations, the most cruel of situations, and they've turned into that which they've been through. And that's why they kind of want to manipulate you to be the same. The person says that they have a hypersexuality disorder. They're a pervert and addicted to sex. What I'm hearing is they use sex spells. They blame and say, oh, it's a whoop. Look at that. Look at that. I have someone else, but they have no clue. They try to act like when they want a lot of sex from your person, they try to act like it's because they're, I'm addicted to you. It's not so much that they act like it's a medical condition. It's more like, I'm addicted to you. I need you for my mental state. I need to be with you. You're the only one that can blah, 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 right? But in reality, it's just another excuse. That's all. Just another excuse. Get into the Toxic deck. This is by Lilac and Lavender. I believe she has a new website now. I'll put the link. Whoop! What'd I tell you? What a stalker watching. That's why the masculine be nervous. Why you watching? Why are you watching my feminine? It's a feminine watching a feminine. That's coming in the strongest more than anyone else. There is a feminine that's like really stalked up on social media, hanging around some type of location. If she can't get around a location, then she's trying to watch from different profiles. You might have her profile blocked, so she's trying to watch from other profiles to keep an eye on you, to see what their activity is with you, or to see where you're going to be, and if their person's in the same place and all this other sneaky ish. They're a stalker. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. You're watching, especially if they're watching you and you haven't had any interaction with the person. Again, for a group of you, for a small group of you, you know who your person is. You might have had encounters with them, but you never really, as much as the feelings were intense, you never made anything happen. Like nothing really happened. And this person's acting like Y'all done already eloped or something like that. They're having a whole emotional, mental meltdown because of how strong the spiritual tie is between you and this person. They can't beat you. That's the fear. But they figure if they watch you and know when to push that person's button to push them away from you or to get them to be distracted from you, so be it. And for others, you're dealing with a karmic that might be crazy enough to try to roll up on you. Some of you might have actually fought someone's karmic before in a fight. You probably kicked their ass. So that's why they're not trying to come from the front anymore. And I keep hearing that, like, watch your back. They're saying come from me, but it's really this like watch your back energy. So the guidance that you're receiving there is you listen to your first instinct. I don't care what the faith, belief, whatever. You listen to your first instinct. If you're out somewhere, some don't feel right, follow that first instinct. This is not about living in fear. That's the opposite of how you be energy like that. Be energy like that. No. You don't live in fear, but you listen when your intuition and your guides and the divine itself says, don't you go there. Don't you go to that party, or don't you go don't walk that corner that day. Okay, you feel like somebody's on your back, stay in a public area. Listen to those instincts. They're coming in and kicking in for a reason. And they're channeling in right now for a reason. You know, this person, it's like they're putting the evil eye on you. For some of you they are, because again, they deal in that. But that eye is too intense. It's too intense. It's too intense of a watch. And for those of you dealing with that person, that, like I said, they're already showing symptoms of being a karmic or symptoms of being, you know, some type of toxic bond. That individual watches you a lot too. And that's another red flag. It's not a romantic watch. It's creepy. Like I said, for some of you, when they first introduced themselves to you, it was creepy. Masculine or feminine. It was a little like, what the freak? What the hell? And for whatever reason, they turned on the charm and you fell for it. Or maybe someone kind of like forced y'all to be around each other in some sense. Like maybe friends or mutual people that you know kind of like always were having parties and making you third wheel. Some type of way of getting y'all around each other. But when you really think back to how you kept running into them, it was on some stalker-ish. It was like, how did you even know I would be at that location at that? What the even the friend that y'all had may have not known that. If you're resonating with that, then you need to be mindful of that energy. And like I said, you need to bounce before it goes somewhere it shouldn't go. We have insecure again. Insecure again. And we have tormented. A tormented soul, an insecure, stalking, tormented soul who happens to be very obsessed with your divine counterpart or you, depending on what part of this you're resonating with. I really don't want to make this a two-parter, so y'all might just have to bear with this being pretty long. We're going to get into some years. See what the year of this person is. What's the year of the karmic? This year may not resonate with everyone. The years may not resonate with everyone. Could be your person's year, could be yours. But I'm honing in more so to see the year of the karmic. We have the year of the rat popping up here. So could have been born in 84. Really any of these years. But could have been born in 84. Could have been born in 96. For another, it's the year of the goat. Could have been born in like 91, 79. Those are the numbers that are standing out to me. But you could be of any age here. You could be older. So they could have been born in 67. We have the year of the pig. 83. 71 is really standing out to me. So either that's your year, your person's year, or the karmic's year. Because that's really, the 71 is really standing out to me. And we'll do one more. One more year of the karmic. Oop. One more. And the 91 too. The 91. It's also standing out. We have year of the dog. So year of the goat, year of the pig, year of the dog. For those of you that might know the karmics year or how old they are, you can pretty much guess the year if you know how old they are. We're going to get into some countries. This country could be where you, your person, or the karmic is from. We have Asia. Thailand is standing out to me very strongly. Someone might have been a military baby. Maybe someone's parent traveled a lot of different places. Could have been stationed somewhere near Thailand or in Thailand. For someone else, the person, the karmic, has Thai in them. Your person might have. I'm seeing a it's the kanji. Oh, what is that word? I know that word. I've really got to brush up on my Japanese. But it's a Japanese kanji. I know it's a Japanese kanji. If I remember it, I'll put it in the description. But your person or you might have like Japanese descent, or you might be into like Japan, or maybe your person was serving and they were stationed in Japan. But Japan and Thailand are standing out from Asia. And you take what resonates to you. Of course, I knew Europe would be here. United Kingdom stands out immediately. Ireland. Not specifically the Ukraine, but something very close to it. Like something like right on the edge of it. Very like right on the edge of it. But the UK is standing out strongly. We'll take one more. See if we can get one more for where the karmic is from. Karmic can also, of course, be from these places. In these places, this could be where you're from. Many of you are from North America too. Interestingly enough, Egypt came in another reading I did that really wasn't karmic based, but it's interesting that it's coming up again here. So Egypt is saying someone could be of Ethiopian and Egyptian descent, because Ethiopia is also standing out to me. Or again, your person could have been born or from that country. You could have the karmic, you or them could have a name, like an Ethiopian name or Egyptian name. I'm hearing go for one more. Okay, we only have 3 left, but we're going for one more. We'll see which one falls out first. We have North America, of course. And the one that fell on my lap was South America. So South America fell on my lap, North America flipped over. All right, let's get into the archetypes. Well, no, we're still not done over here, actually. Actually, darling, we're still not done. Let's get some zodiacs. These, again, with my readings, the zodiac energy can represent the overall vibrations that are here, the vibrations you're dealing with. Most definitely can be in your chart, but you want to think outside the box and not just think about how they work in your chart, but how the archetypes could be working in regards to the whole reading, to the whole message that's channeling in. Let's get so we have Leo. There's a karmic Leo. Someone else's person or you might have Leo in your Venus, but there's a karmic. I heard karmic when I saw Leo up here. Cancer, so you, your person, or them are a Cancer. Sagittarius and Taurus. Sagittarius. So again, I'm hearing karmic for the Leo, karmic for a Taurus. The Cancer, it feels like someone might have the same sign as their person. So like if you're Sagittarius, your person is Sagittarius or something like that, or it's in your chart. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, it could be a strong placement in your chart. They definitely contribute to the energy of the reading. So these are just to help you narrow this down a little bit. Let's get into some traits of your person. We have wavy hair, dreamy, artistic, large eyes, wide hips. Let's get into some traits of the karmic. The karmic may have wavy hair also, but I'm seeing thin lips on some of them, which might be weird because you may have a person with full lips and you're trying to figure out like why or how. That's what somebody's thinking. Don't take offense. That's what someone just thought in their head. There's we have navy for the karmic, authority, duty, devoted. Authority is standing out for the karmic. Not the rest of this, but authority. This like respect my authority kind of energy. We have trendy accessory styles. Remember I said someone's dealing with a person that's like real sophisticated and chic. Could be trendy, could be modern, could be a person that's like, you know, fashionisha, or I forget what they call the male version of a fashionisha, but you know, fashion head. Fancy, chiseled, cunning, tall. These traits can also be of your person. And as I say that, the card that flips over is hopeful, unique, colorful, and pride. Remember I said some couples here are same sex, so could be your person. That could be your person's energy mixed in there a little bit, or yours. Let's get into. They really have me going through all these decks. Wow. They're really trying to make sure y'all get y'all confirmations and answers. I'm gonna try and speed this along. Let's get into some traits. I do everything. Ooh, someone is. Ooh, this is how your person or you feel about this karmic. I do everything. Remember I said earlier someone's karmic is lazy? And remember I said when your person is frustrated or dealing with them, or when they're sucking energy from them, the person might walk around looking like a bum. Especially if they're tired or exhausted because they feel like they're taking care of this person or doing everything for them and they ain't doing nothing. There's a lot of take. I always tell you guys there's a difference between give and take, give and receive. The karmic cycle is the karmic takes, they give, they get nothing back. Someone who has a child with the karmic, it could have been from a one-night stand. I'm also seeing, if this is not going to resonate for everyone, I'm also seeing that some of you might have slipped up, especially if your partner is an ex, and you might have slipped up when they were on a break from the karmic or on a break from the person and had a night with them, and the karmic's aware of that. That could be another reason the karmic's really pissed. Even if it was a break, even if they weren't together at the time, it's the fact that they're intimidated by how much they care about you, and the fact that they can tell they don't want to be with them, they want to be with you. The only thing keeping them around them is whatever they're holding over their head, or whatever spell that they're putting on them, whatever veil that they're putting on them, especially if they're getting them addicted to drugs. And your person is looking for clarity. They're trying to survive the situation. But truthfully, the karmic connection is a wasteland. So if you've ever taken a moment where you thought to yourself, how could they want them over me? It's not about that. If it was that simple, you wouldn't be watching this reading right now, right? It's not about that. Oshun is a strong sign for someone here. There's someone that you might have been thinking of getting a cleansing and then maybe going and asking for divine protection to be put on yourself and to be put on your person. You might have been praying already, but you might have been thinking, I want to go to someone that can give me proper guidance on knowing how to do this, because you know that the individual that you're dealing with dabbles in things. Oshun energy is a strong energy that you resonate with, is a strong energy that you're guided with, and Oshun is a blessed energy. So if you have the chance to work with the energy of Oshun, I recommend it. Somebody might have been, again, that person dealing with the individual that's starting off. They're trying to tamper with your self-love, and you need to tap into it. Tapping into the energy of Oshun may be helping you to connect with that. You could be someone that grew up with the teachings of the Orishas. You might have grown up with it, and over the years you might have become distant, and you always got to look at what the lessons are. The lessons hold the blessing. And going through this, or even meeting this person, because those type of energies come in for a reason. It doesn't always have to be a good one, but it's a reason, no coincidences. So this could be trying to lead you back to your roots, or lead you back to that which you used to find helpful and sacred. It's definitely going to be something that's a turn off to the karmic. Last two cards from this deck that we had come out: taste in reverse, tacky, cheap, foul, lack of style. Look at that. Just tasteful. Rags to riches, self-made, rich, full circle, changes, joy. Again, it's like someone's family may not want them to stop messing with someone because they got money. Why would you stop talking with them? They got money. We're going to get into this deck, and then I'm filling cards from one more deck. This is the Queen Talks to Queen Bitch. So this is the Divine Feminine. If you're the Divine Feminine, you'll resonate with this. Or if you're the Counterpart's energy, you may resonate with this. But this is them talking to the karmic. So this reveals what could be your feelings or your person's feelings if you're the one that's dealing with the karmic. I am divine masculine security. Divine masculine can't resist me. I'm always the temptation. I'm always the temptress to him. Y'all talking that ish, girl. Talk yo ish. Divine love lasts forever and lifetimes. Last thing a karmic want is for somebody to acknowledge that. It gives your person hope, which gives them a little more strength, and it makes them feel like, what? Divine love lasts forever. That's the whole point. That's what their purpose is to try to break that. I always try to make, I'm hearing DM and DF. So this is for some of you, it's for a person dealing with a divine masculine, another dealing with a divine feminine. I always make the DM or DF laugh and smile because I know that you make them miserable. So that friend, when you do get on the phone, when you do call, you light up that person's day. You make them feel better, and you can tell the difference when they go without talking to you. I only want him to control him and his finances. You have no idea what you only want him to control him and his finances. You have no idea what real love is, or to be a good wife. I feel like there's a karmic that's pretending to be a divine feminine. That this energy is divine feminine, but there's a karmic that was pretending to be. That's probably how she got up under your masculine, is to pretend it's me. I'm the soulmate. I'm the sacred one. I'm blessed. Me. And she was trying to intervene there, but she snitched on herself. I only want him for his money. Yeah, exactly. We know you only want him for his money. A divine feminine wouldn't want to be with someone just for their coin. We have, I bring divine masculine true happiness. And we'll get into the last deck. We'll get into this one. Now, Spirit, will you only let me pull 3 cards? Or are we going to end up getting like a whole party of cards? We're reaching the limit here. And I really don't want this to be a 2-parter, but some of you might end up in. We have home and family. Once again, children involved. Could be a boy for most of you, could be a girl. There's children involved here. But for others, I feel like your masculine or feminine wants to have a family with you. For those of you who may not already have a child with your counterpart, they want a child with you. The hope of having a home and family with you is something that keeps them going, and it's something that the other person is trying to take advantage of, trying to keep them from. They might have thought that by getting knocked up, that was enough to break your connection, and it didn't work that way. Your bonds just got stronger. Their hope is probably that you have some type of disdain for the child, or that you have some type of dislike for it, because then maybe that'll be enough to keep the masculine from you. And most of you, I'm not really picking up anyone that has anything like that, that has a disdain for a child just because of the parent. But it's kind of what they're hoping for, because then it's like making the masculine choose between you or their kid. And look at that confirmation of karmic bonds. Seeking answers. Some of you, remember I said some of you with Oshun energy, you're like trying to seek answers. You're seeking help, seeking guidance. You're masculine, seeking help, seeking guidance in this situation. There's a breakthrough that's on the way. There is a breakthrough. There is a breakthrough. Remember I said this is the breaking the chain. There is a breakthrough that's on the way, that's coming. All of this experience has a hidden blessing in it. What did I tell you guys? When you find the lesson, you find the blessing. Every time, without fail. Find the lesson, find the blessing. That's how it works. They said go to the drinks. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, let's see. Telling us to go to the drinks. Go to the drinks. Why are we going to the drinks? What we got? No, well, I already see from the beginning. Yep, well, we have confirmation of a child because there's a baby bottle and a boba drink. We have Reno cocktail. That means somebody likes to shake things up. In this case, it could be positive or negative. It could be one of you are planning on doing something to shake things up. Could be your person is trying to shake things up to get out of a situation. Or the karmic is shaking things up. Take it how it resonates for you. The blue drink, I feel like this symbolizes what I mean about them trying to get the person drunk so that they can't communicate well. The red wine drink or orangey color is once again them like messing with the sacral chakra energy, to the root and the sacral, to keep them off balance. They could have been, somebody's karmic here might have been trying to put some type of do some type of ritual to keep you from having kids of your own with your masculine, or to keep you from being fertile. Could be another reason Oshun came out here that just channeled in here. So take care of your womb space. That be mindful of what you're eating and doing right now. If you start feeling weird, that could be some of what it is. Them trying to mess with it. They're not going to be able to achieve that. I'm going to tell you that right now. We don't play that right here. They're not going to be able to achieve that. Your protection is in lock. However, they're making the attempt, and it could be while you're feeling ill in the lower regions. We have, I'm trying to say, pink. I feel like this is a sign for where someone lives, where pink grapefruit grows. Sign for where someone lives. These could be some of the drinks that you or your person have shared before in the past. so you know that it's a beverage that they enjoy. And I have reached my limits, my loves. I hope that this gave you the guidance, the clarity, the warnings that you needed, the inner strength to tap into that you needed. Understand your masculine more. If you're in or dealing with a karmic situation, it's giving you the strength to do what you got to do, to heal, to get out of it, to not carry anything from it with you. I wish you prosperity in this connection, your true divine connection. As it comes in, we place protection upon you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.